Welcome, class, to the Understanding the Final Examination presentation. This will be a short presentation to take you through the steps of how to prepare for the final exam and to let you know what to expect. All the materials related to the final exam are found under the Assignments folder in the subfolder Final Exam, just like you've been going there for the rest of the semester for major projects and papers. You'll find this one there too. Everything that we're going to talk about today is from the final exam study guide that I mentioned is in that final exam folder. Your final exam is worth 25% of your grade. It will become available on the course shell in the final exam folder on May 10th and disappear on May 4th and disappear on May 10th. It cannot be taken late. It must be taken in one sitting. If you click submit or save and you go away, that's it. So you can't go back in and restart the exam. So make sure you're sitting down and you're ready for 2 hours to take the exam. It's totally online. It cannot be revised and resubmitted like so many of the other assignments in the course have been. It's totally open book and open notes, and the only thing is you cannot work with another person. That might surprise you that it's totally open book and open notes, but you'll see later that you will have to prepare. There are two parts. The case study that is in the file Be the Psychologist is actually due this coming Sunday, which will be May 3rd, and that's worth 10% of your final exam score. It's very similar to the case study we did before, where you had to read a case study and fill out a table analyzing the case study from different theoretical perspectives. Once that's done, on May 4th, next week, the online 2-hour time portion will become visible, and that's worth 90% of your final exam score. So case study 10%, online time worth 90%. As I said, it's totally online, 2 hours to take it sitting in one sitting. If you have a documented accommodation, please email me a reminder, and I will make that accommodation. So how should you prepare for this exam? First, you should read the specific information on the study guide. You should view the PowerPoints from the lectures, read the summaries at the end of each chapter, and go back to the bullets on the final exam and see how many you can do. You could even prepare notes to help you while taking the exam. One of the things I want to point out to you is that the questions will most ask you to apply knowledge, not to spit back something that you've memorized. So don't concentrate on memorizing so much as understanding. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at a typical question, the type that might be on the exam. Discuss 3 classroom management strategies you might use in the classroom and how you might apply them to improve instruction. This might be an essay question, for example. To answer this question, you must first understand what the strategies are. You must understand how to use them. So it's not just what is one classroom strategy and multiple choice. So don't make the mistake of thinking that because the exam is open book, you will not need to prepare. You do need an understanding of specific content in order to finish the exam on time and do well. Usually students get very nervous about the 2-hour time limit. And what I'd say to them is I've given this exam in different forms many times, and I've never had a student say to me, I really couldn't finish. If you have studied and prepared and you know the material, you should have no trouble finishing. If you look on the course materials page, you'll see a list of the course PowerPoints. And these are the PowerPoints that were used to generate the YouTube video lectures throughout the course. But instead of having to listen to all the lectures, I put the original PowerPoints up for your convenience. So if you open that file up, you'll see them. This is what the inside of the course PowerPoints folder looks like. And there, as I said, you'll see all of the course PowerPoints. So let's talk about the format of the exam. There will be 20 multiple choice questions, 10 true-false questions, 10 matching. So by that I mean one matching with 10 items in the matching, 3 short answers, and 1 essay. There is an extra credit optional question worth 5 points. The study guide has broken out chapter by chapter the vocabulary as well as the important questions that you need to focus on. So for example, in chapter 1, which we covered in week 2, if you look at the syllabus, it'll say week 2. These were the vocabulary, and you should have a good working knowledge of the vocabulary, and then look at the 2 questions. Why is it important to study educational psychology? And what does it mean to teach with intentionality, and why is it important? You can actually fill this study guide out and keep it by you when you take the final exam. It's a good way to prepare, and it's a good way to have notes to reference. I'm not going to go through the rest of the chapters, but you can see chapter 2 at the bottom, and if you look at the study guide, you'll see all the chapters that we covered represented. So what are next steps to this whole process? First of all, you should email me immediately with any questions. That's very important that you understand all of this going in. There's a quiz to take in this week's folder worth 2 points on understanding the final exam, and you may take that as many times as you need to get 100. Complete the case study, Rich Thorpe, in this week's folder and submit it by Sunday, May 3rd. That's worth 10% of your final exam. Obviously, begin to study. And then when the rest of the exam becomes available, May 4th, go ahead and take that sometime in the week between May 4th and May 10th. By the way, your optional extra credit vocabulary project is due this week by May 3rd. There's a link in the assignment folder for that. That may not be submitted or revised, submitted late or revised. So everyone have a great week. I'm sure you'll do very well on this. Email me with any questions. Thank you.